Hey everyone, welcome to Data Millennials. I'm Atul, and in this video we are going to discuss how we can apply or use case in a calculated field in Looker or Google Data Studio, where we have to classify the numeric values into discrete bucket. So as you can see here in my table over here, I have the column named as unit price category. But if I'll show you the raw data, then you can see over here that we have category, we have dates, quantity sold, unit price, last bought price, and change in price. So in our raw data, we do not have any column over here named as unit price category. And what we need to do is that based on this unit price category, we have to categorize or create a discrete bucket which says whether a particular category is a different type of product, saying that if the price is within 30, then we gonna say that it's a small category item. If the price is greater than 30 and less than 70, then we are going to say it as a medium size category, and if it is above 70, then we are going to say it's a large size category. So this is what we are going to do over here in this video. We are going to create a discrete bucket based on the numbers that we have over here in the unit price, and to do that we have to use the case statement. So a common use of case statement is to create new categories or grouping of data based on the inequality of data values or the equality of data values. For example, to group a selected categories of item into a certain groups, we have to use the case statement. And you can see over here that I have the syntax over here for case statement, where we have to give the keyword case, and then we have to give the conditions using the when keyword. And you can use multiple when keywords within a case statement. Then you have to give a default value if your condition doesn't matches using the else statement, and then you have to give a keyword end, which basically specifies that the case statement has ended over here. Okay, so as you can see over here in our graph, we have the auto part size price comparison. So this says that what is the price that is going on a day-to-day basis for small parts, medium parts, and large parts. Similarly, we have a table over here which says within the category 4, what was the total sales value for the large size quantity, small size quantity, and medium size quantity. So we are going to use this data source where we have category and we have the unit price, and the condition is that if the unit price is less than 30, then we are going to identify it as small. If it is greater than 30 and less than 70, then it's a medium size item, and if it is above 70, then it's a large size item. So we are going to specify that within our report using the case statement. And to do that, what we are going to do is that we are going to first click on edit, and I'm going to add a new page over here. So I'm going to click on page and then new page. Let me copy this header as well as these headers from here. Okay, so let me increase the size of this one. The thing is that in order to create a table, what you need to do is that you need to add a data source first. So if your report doesn't have data source, then what you can do is that you can click on add data, and based on your connector that you have in or your data, wherever your data is residing, you can select the connector and import your data in your Looker dashboard. But for me, I have already imported this data source to show you this graph and this table in the starting of the video, so I don't need to import that data. So in order to add a table, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on add a chart, and I'm going to select this table. And the moment I'll select a table, you will see that the Looker will allow me to add a table on the empty canvas. And as you can see over here that my data source has been selected over here, which is GDS67. Now suppose if you want to change your data source, what you can do is that you can select a visualization wizard and click on setup. Then you can click on data source and you can select any of the data source which is available within your report. But for me, I'll keep this GDS67 over here. Now the first thing that we need to understand while creating a calculated field is that whether you want to create a calculated field in your visualization wizard or in your data itself. So when you create a calculated field in your visualization wizard, for example over here for this table, then I will only be able to use that column within this table only. I won't be able to use it in other visualization wizards. So it's always better to create a calculated field in your data if you are going to use that calculated field in multiple visualization wizard. So I'm going to create that calculated field in our data only. And as you can see over here that in this table, by default, Looker has already taken the dimension as category and metric as record count. But if I'll show you the table over here, then we had category over here and we had the unit price summary with the unit price category, which is large, small and medium. So let's go back to our page 2. Over here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on add a field in order to create a calculated field in my data, and then I have to give a name of the field first. So I'm just going to give the name as new category of size, and then I'm going to give the case formula over here. So in order to give the case formula, the first thing that we need to do is that we need to put a case keyword, and then we have to give the condition using the when statement. So we are going to say when our unit price column, which is over here, this unit price column, is less than equal to 30, or let's say less than 30, then put a category saying that it's a small item. Then again we are going to give another condition saying that when unit price is greater than equal to 31, and I'm going to give an AND condition saying that unit price is less than equal to 70, then I have to group it as medium item. And the last condition that we have to give is that when unit price is greater than equal to 71, then we are going to say it as large item. And at last we have to give a else statement with the default value. If you want to give the default value, you can give using else statement, else you can simply put end statement over here, which will basically specify that the case statement has ended over here. But if you does not provide an else statement over here, then what will happen is that the default value, so suppose if you got a unit price which is -5 or -10, which is practically impossible, but let's assume a situation where you have the unit price as -5, then that statement will have null values in your table. So instead of giving the null values, what you can say is that else put the value as other size item. The moment you end this case statement, you will see that you have this formula syntax is valid appearing over here. If you have any mistake over here, then it will say error, and if it doesn't say error, then you can click on save, and you will see that the calculated field has saved. Then you can click on finish, and you will see that you have a new column over here which says new category of size. Now what you can do is that either you can take this new category of size in the dimension and take this unit price as a metric, and now you will have bifurcation of each category with the new category size. But if I'll show you my first page, then you will see that you have a table like this where you have categories and you have columns which says large, medium and small. So I'm going to replicate this, and in order to do that we have to use the pivot table over here as our graph or chart. So I'm going to change it as a pivot table, as a simple pivot table. I'll just simply select this, and you will see that this table will get changed to pivot table, and you have this columns over here saying that large item, medium item, small item and other size item. So now we are going to replicate this graph over here, and if I simply try to replicate this graph using the calculated field that we have created over here, which is new category of size, then you will see that we have a very strange thing. So let me take this time series chart and put it over here, and if I take this new category of size and put it over here as my metric, then you will see that by default you are getting count. And even if you try to change it to running sum, you will see that you have a different graph. We are not getting the actual numbers that we have over here, and the reason behind it is that if you select this column, which is new category of size, which you just have created using the calculated field, you will see that it's a text type column, it's not a numeric column. So what we have to do is that we have to create the calculated field for this graph, specifically for this graph over here in the metric section. although you can use this new size of category in this graph, but it will always be used as a text column and it will always give you the count. So let me create a new calculated field over here by clicking on either add a metric, or you can click on the pre-existing metric and you can click on create field, and over here you can give the name of your new calculated column. So let's take the example of a small, and I'm going to give the formula over here with the case statement saying that case when unit price is less than equal to 30, then take the sum of unit price. Okay, let's remove this sum, simply put unit price, then put a else statement saying that else take 0 and end this statement. Now what will happen is that it will take the unit price value where the unit price value is less than 30, and we have a data type over here which says numeric, and you can change it to currency also, but let's keep the number as it is and click on apply. The moment you will click on apply, Looker will start calculating it in the background and you will see that you are getting a sum over here. Similarly, I can create another calculated field which will show me the comparison based on the calculated field that I'll be creating over here. Let's say if unit price is greater than 31 and less than 70, then put it as medium and let's click on apply. So now you have another set of bar over here. Then similarly we can create another calculated field for large items where we'll say that unit price is greater than equal to 71. And let's click on apply. And the moment you will click on apply, that you will see that you have your graph which is similar to this graph. The only difference is that we have not given the data points over here, saying that we have not selected show points and show data labels. So let's change the color also. Okay, and the last one, we are going to select show points and show labels. So now this graph looks similar to this graph which is I had created in the starting of the video just to show you. So this is how basically you can use a case statement within your calculated field to classify the numeric values into discrete bucket and show it in your dashboard. Happy learning and see you in the next video.